Well, welcome aboard for Virtual Collage Jam for, I should know what day it is today, June 12th. And it is our last jam until the fall. So hope you're able to join us and glad you are. And what can I tell you? What's news? It is our topic today is collections, and our topics are always optional in case if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, feel free to ignore it. And Virtual Collage Jam is an online collage community of like-minded or very differently minded, but differently minded collage artists who love making collage, obviously. And we meet every other week during during school terms for a free hour-and-a-half session on YouTube, and I'm so glad you can join us. Hey, Nellie, glad to have you along. And there's not much to say. I don't think that I have to say about what's up. I am. When am I? Tomorrow. I am doing.
You're here.
And you can hear that Kim is here too. So she will.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Kim.
I'm just going to join you for a short time to say hello because I have a mountain of work and I just have to do some of it during our usual time. So
yes.
Sorry about that.
Kim is, as you can well understand, having a little bit of a anxiety day, and it won't be the last one because she has a very big show, which she will ace by the time it's mounted. It's going to be amazing, but there are always some trepidatious times between leading up to that. So she doesn't feel that she has a handle on it yet, and that's fair enough, but she wants to start to get a handle on it so that she can start to get the work done, because it's her largest show ever. It's a public gallery, station gallery in Whitby, and it's 3 rooms, correct? So
yeah,
so it is. It's
plus
not
a display case.
Yeah, so it's not a small show. And Kim has done shows that big, and the Cedar Ridge show was at least that big.
But it was more limited.
Yes,
so
yeah, the walls were smaller.
So,
and you're going to be doing a lot of immersive material, right? So yeah.
Who knows? I've got a lot of ideas as usual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't seem to have trouble coming up with ideas.
Yeah, for her it is always, it's never
what can I actually do.
It's what can be done in the time, what is the best option that can be done in time, and which of these 100 ideas which 5 shall we, or 8 shall we do.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, when the Georges Pompidou calls, I've got the ideas.
Yeah.
I just need a team to help me make them. How is everybody?
Well, funny you should ask. Valerie is here. Hello, Val. Nice to have you along.
Nellie is here.
Nellie is here.
Hi, Val. Hi, Nellie.
And Valerie says hi to you too.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Jane is here. Yay, Jane,
Hi, Jane.
Our Iron Woman. And Ricky is here. That's awesome.
Ricky.
Yeah. And Jane says, nice rainy day to do collaging. It is. And boy, our plants and trees and everything need it, don't they?
As do all our
sure.
Our trees, especially in the underbrush and all the fires.
Yeah. Kathleen says hello.
Hi, Kathleen.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you on. She says, lovely way to spend an afternoon. I'm glad. Yes, thank you for joining us. Francoise is here.
Francoise,
hey,
hello.
She says, hi, Kim and Cal. Looking forward to this last session. I have collected hands for a while, so might do something with hands. Awesome.
That's nice.
That's a great thing to actually play with. I can you expect 2, and when there are a multitude of them, it just makes it so much fun. I love that idea.
They're just so interesting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Endlessly fascinating.
That's why I enjoyed teaching drawing hands.
Drawing hands, yes, because I mean, who hasn't struggled drawing hands? I certainly have.
But they're the best.
They are the best, especially when you can get the facility up to actually conveying what they're expressing. So
Or just understand them well enough to draw
to
them
sort of
with some freedom and expression.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
really the
That's art, right?
understanding
That's
them.
drawing right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like getting to past the camera stage and into the expressive stage.
Yeah.
At least for most of us. Yeah. Philippa is here. Hey, Philippa.
Hi, Philippa.
Yay. And she says, "Hi, Kim and Cal. What are the dates for your show, Kim?"
October 3rd to November 25th, I believe, are the dates.
Right.
It starts on a Saturday. It's something like that.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's
October 7th.
It's something more like 7th, yeah, because I think we're installing the first week of October, so it's probably about a week into October till near the end of November, right?
I think it's the 25th or the 27th.
Right. So
is the final day. So it's a good long run.
Yeah,
which is great.
Which will be great, and the opening I think is the 14th.
A week in. So I think it's the 14th, the Saturday the 14th. So it's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's right near the GO station, and it has parking, of course.
Yeah. So if you're not fond of driving, I taught there for a few years, and I would get on the GO train, and it lets you off as long as you don't have mobility issues. It's like a 5-minute walk from the GO station. Yeah. So it's great. Which is great.
It's a beautiful gallery.
It is a beautiful gallery
the curator there is wonderful.
Yeah, the team there is really nice.
I'm really looking forward to that. I want to do it right.
Yeah, you will.
And I've also got the gel plate printing course in Halliburton that I'm preparing, because last year, because of the cancer, I had to bow out. So the lovely Sharon Kirsch took it over.
Ably subbed for you, yes. Yeah. And I was there while she was teaching. She had some amazing students doing amazing stuff. So
of course. So I've got to be at least up to her standard.
Philippa says she's planning to go to the show as Engo's sister lives in Whitby. We were there this weekend. Yeah,
that's great.
I
think there's a whole contingent from Markham who are going to go.
Right, as a group.
Contingent from Don Valley Art Club who want to go as well.
Yeah, because Kim's given some online talks about her, like where she gets her ideas from and how she develops them, and has used her previous show, Burnt Offerings, which is also going to be expanded there, as an example. So the fact that people got a look at that and then realized, oh, they're going to have a chance to see it again. And we're like, okay, let's go. So, which is really great.
And it includes digital collage. So there you go.
You always have your fingers in lots of pies, right? So, yeah. Annie is here. Hello, Annie.
Hi,
Annie. Yay. Great to have you along. And Maria, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, Maria, but I'm glad to have you along. Huibrecht.
How's it spelled?
Huibregts.
GTS.
And
that's so interesting. What language is that?
Yeah,
from,
I'm curious.
I'd be very interested to know.
And I'm sure I butchered it, but please.
But with the best of intentions.
With the best of intentions, exactly. So welcome
She's
aboard.
Probably accustomed.
She says she can only join for a few minutes, but hope to view the recording later. Absolutely, the recordings are always available on YouTube, on my YouTube channel afterwards, so you can catch a little bit live and then catch the rest later. So
more than 3 years worth up there.
Ruth Austin is here. Yay!
Hi, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth. I hope you're. I hope the rain is getting to you to sort of dampen take some of those particulates to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I was having trouble breathing the other day.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's nowhere near it like you guys are. So.
Yeah.
And Dutch. I thought it might be Dutch.
So,
right.
My father was born in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So
the Dutch East Indies. Yeah.
He spoke Dutch.
Yeah.
But the accent's different, so he had trouble understanding Dutch from the Netherlands. And I said to him, "Oh, come on, how bad could it be?"
I bet it could be quite different. Quite different.
Language.
You know, when you hear English spoken by, it can be very.
It just takes a little getting used to.
Yeah,
most
for
of
sure,
the time.
For sure.
You know.
Gerda is here. Hey,
Hi,
Gerda.
Gerda.
Yeah, she says, finally got password changed so she can be part of the chat. What a struggle, but
Yay.
triumph, right? So yeah, so glad to have you in the chat, Gerda. That's awesome. Yeah.
So much better.
And you and Ricky can chat back and forth too, which is great.
Yeah.
And Ruth says no rain today. Oh, well, we've got lots of rain here, so hopefully it prevailing is heading towards Ottawa, but I don't know.
Hope so.
But air is clearer. Okay, well
Yeah.
that is fortunate. So yay. So
it would be good to have we've had a nice steady rain and it's really helped a lot. Caledon, which is just north of us, had a fire ban on because of the
extreme dryness. Yeah.
The rating for the danger of fires was extreme.
Right.
And now it's low.
Right.
So that's a huge improvement. So I hope you get the same there. And I think Calabogie is where the big fires have been nearby Ottawa, right? So
yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cottage country.
Ruth says she's anxiously awaiting her daughter to have her second grandchild.
Oh, wow.
She is due in 2 weeks. Wow. It's a boy. I'm sticking close to home to provide care for my 3-year-old granddaughter when mommy and daddy go to the hospital. So this is perfect way to spend some time. Awesome. Yay. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Glad.
Exciting.
Yeah. Glad to have you on.
All goes well with
yes.
mother and baby.
Exactly. And your granddaughter is a lucky granddaughter. They get to spend time with you. So yeah. Elaine Windsor is here. Awesome.
Hi, Elaine.
So happy to be back to join the virtual collage jam. It's been too long. It has been too long, but we understand, life is busy, and I know you're a busy collager and exhibitor and doer of many, many things. So and I think Kim has a special thank you, right?
You will be getting a special thank you in the coming months. Yeah. So
thank you. Nellie says, I introduced my grandchildren to collage this morning. Heaven. Oh, isn't it great to see kids play with it and just run with it? Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah.
And where are your grandchildren, Nellie?
Yeah. Or do you have them in multiple locations? Or
I don't
I could well imagine
know how your family is distributed, but I assume that one of the reasons you visit the different places you visit is because
for family, presumably, right? Nellie says they made marbles, and she says they just arrived from the UK. So
okay,
awesome. Okay. That's great. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. No, that's making art with kids is the best because they're most of them anyway are unfiltered and pure and amazing.
Fun-loving grandparents are the best.
Fun-loving grandparents are the best. And I know we have a few here, so well done, you guys. Yeah.
I have such great memories of 2 of my grandparents. I didn't know the other 2.
Right. But they were really wonderful, right?
Yeah, I just posted on Instagram and Facebook on my professional Facebook page about my grandfather a little bit.
Kim's first art teacher, and he was a serious amateur artist, and In
fact, I remember talking with Peter Kliznik about it. My grandfather was a professional artist.
Yeah, he was. Because he
just couldn't do it full time.
Yeah, he sold. Yeah, exactly. He sold work. He was very accomplished.
A lot.
Yeah, so
he painted a lot.
It's not fair to call him an amateur because he wasn't.
He called himself semi-professional. And
right.
I remember Peter saying, Peter Kliznik, the late great, who was Cal's special mentor and our friend. He said, "Well, what does semi-professional mean actually?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lots of very professional artists make very little money from their art. That doesn't make them less professional.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Nellie says, presumably have a grandchild. He's a blocked artist, and today he opened up. Awesome. Aww. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
because you made it possible.
Yep.
Well done.
You set the table and facilitated it just right. So
yeah. That's beautiful.
Francoise says, I've been doing collage in French once a week with Lucien.
Oh,
my 12-year-old grandchild. And
grandchild, sorry.
And Olive. And I'm probably that's not the French pronunciation. Olive, another 12-year-old. We had our last session last week, so they've been learning French and collage. That's awesome.
Wonderful. Oh, what special time for them with you.
Yeah, I can also imagine that the chat corrected it from Olivier to Olive, right?
Yeah,
because it's like it doesn't understand French.
Yeah,
So
it's constantly doing things like that to me. Because imagine that people have names from all over
from
the
other
world, right?
other languages.
Yeah,
it's capitalized, so it should be.
Yeah,
it should be an issue. Yeah,
so respected.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera, but before I do that, I'm just going to show you that, which is just happens to be one of my large prints, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun to see it en route to my overhead camera. So
oh, let me come by and wave before.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, please.
Otherwise, I'll put on lipstick for no reason.
That will never do. I've got a spot here for you.
I'm wearing art making clothes, so pardon my. Hi, everybody. Have fun with Cal. I know you will.
Well,
and thanks for coming by.
We'll miss you, but we understand.
It's going to be fun. Got some fun images here.
Of course it's going to be fun. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Ruth says, you look great, Kim.
Sweet.
She is sweet. So, just a quick look at this. I'm not sure how I'm holding the camera in my hand, so I'm not sure how good this is going to work, but how well it's going to work. But at least give you a little view of it. It's got some reflections, but what's great is I'm not sure how far my cord will stretch, but lots of people really thought that they were full size, like poster size collages, because the enlargements were really good. You can see there are little cast shadows at the bottom of the paper. I did my best to make it look like it was actually three-dimensional. So yeah, so I'm really pleased with those. Those of you guys who were at the artist project saw them. Sorry, going black just while I switch the camera to the overhead position. And we'll be back on in just a sec. There we go. Overexposed for a moment, but all right. So I can hardly wait to hear about what sort of things you're planning with collections. I know that a lot of artists are collectors. I really am not much of a collector. I'm sure that I could be. I can imagine some things that I might collect, but I collect things like art supplies and so on, but I don't have like things that I love to collect. Dinosaurs?
Little plastic.
Yeah, Kim has given me some little plastic dinosaurs, which are very fun, and that definitely puts me in childhood. Like I had lots of little play figurines when I was younger. But yeah, I have just a very few of those. So what I did was I printed out some things that I know people like to collect. Stamps. I think, given my graphic design background, things like stamps and posters and labels, like luggage labels, would definitely be something I would be interested in collecting, like the old-fashioned ones with the nice designs. That's travel stickers, travel destination stickers. But what I've gathered are some stamps, some playing cards, some coins, patches, bottle caps. These are definitely things that I would be interested in because they have a design element, and anything that's like labels or patches or stuff like that. This is definitely something I do not collect, but I definitely would, is like old-fashioned metal and wood type. That could be a dangerous game if I were to start it. So so those are the things I'm going to play with, and I'd be curious to see what you guys. That's my nose there. But back out of the scene. Massive nose as I peer at the screen. It's going to happen though because I have to sort of go up to see the screen. Jane says, nice to see you, Kim. She's still within earshot, so I'll pass that along.
Nice
Good
to
luck
see
with
you.
your projects.
Thank you.
Hey, and Gunta's here. Hey, Gunta, welcome aboard. Awesome. She says, hi, folks. Sitting in the car wash office waiting for my car to get detailed. Nice to see you. Awesome. That's great. It's gonna... And I trust you took a few little collaging supplies to work on their little coffee table while your car is getting worked on. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, okay, I'll just sit over here and whip out my glue stick and my scissors and do a little.
I'd love to make a little collage kit for people.
So Kim has quite a few things that she would collect, and one of and make and something that she is fanatically in love with are any kind of little nice kits. Like this is a kit for, like, you know, like those little travel sewing kits or a first aid kit. Any kit that has a bunch of very thoughtful, well packed things for a particular purpose, she loves those. And so so when just the thought of like making a little travel collage kit is getting her all happy. A big smile on her face. Have a good session this afternoon, Kim. And Ruth said, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And like Philippa says, fabulous. Thank you. And yes, nice to thank you for saying so, Nellie. And Ricky. So Ricky is asking how big they are, and she says, I say, I answer her. They are 30 inches by 40 inches. And some of them have like the one I showed you has a white border around them. And then I did some even more enlarged, like crops, like details that really zoomed in with, so you could see the printing dots nice and large. And they use up most of the 30 by 40. And they're printed on luster paper. So, and under glass. So you could see that there were some reflections, but the luster paper is kind of, you know, matte paper is nice in some respects, but glossy paper has better color reproduction, and luster is kind of, it's more towards glossy, but it's not super glossy. So it's a nice, it reproduces the colors well. So Jane says, aren't all collagist collectors? Absolutely. I think that is one thing I do collect, as you guys know, if you've ever taken an in-person collage course with me. I do collect collage materials, so yes, guilty as charged. Jane says, I've been creating a collage from my collection of stamps, ribbons, and buttons. That's awesome. Ruth says, I have a collage kit I made to use on our boat. That's awesome. If you want to make Kim's day, you could set it up so that it's nicely curated and take a picture and send it to her. You'll make her day. Annie says she collects commemorative stamps, i.e. Chinese New Year, the Queen's celebrations, Canadians. But it turns out I collect watercolor paints, LOL, tubes and pans. Absolutely. We love to collect our materials as well, right? And but yeah, commemorative things are great. And something else, like I've been known to collect the occasional pin when we travel, you know, as sort of mementos of where we've been. And that's a fun thing. Val says, I have collected some words that I will put into a landscape. Oh, I love that. So how did you collect the words, Val? Gunta says, collage has turned me from a collector to a hoarder. That's very funny. And Annie says, meant Canadiana. Yeah, absolutely. There's some great Canadiana, right? Like anything, any sort of pop culture stuff, like beer labels, bottle caps, posters, postcards. Yeah. So I am going to get down to work for a little while, and then I'll come back and check on chat. Words for magazines, Val says. Right, that makes sense. And I'm going to start by cutting out a few things. I have this, because I have a strange mind, I had this idea of like cutting out some of these stamps and coins and other things and then putting them on skewers like you would to put on the barbecue. I don't know why that occurred to me. I'm not sure I'll even do it, but that was the first thought that I had. Kind of funny. We'll see whether I actually do that. It might be where I start, just to get the ball rolling, and then we'll see if that actually continues or not. Kim would be so proud of me. I'm not cutting around every one of the little, I don't know what you call them, crenellations, the little perforations around the stamps. I'm just cutting them out square. Loosey-goosey. Look at that. And then I'm looking at it thinking, oh yeah, but it shows. It doesn't look so good without. But even Kal has his limits sometimes. So, and I do want to show them because that's an important part of the stamp. So otherwise I would cut in a little bit from the edges and cut them off, but that wouldn't feel very stampy, would it? This shot of stamps has perspective. This one is more square on. That'll be fun, actually, I think, to have a mix of the two. There are only a few stamps that are right at the top without overlaps, but for my idea, I might be able to get away with some partial ones as well. So we've got words, we've got ribbons, and what was it that Jane was working with? Stamps, ribbons, and buttons. That's awesome. And will they actually find that are they copies, Jane, or are you going for it and using the originals for your collage? That's always a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? Like, do I use the real ones, or do I make a copy? I guess it depends. If it's if it's a stamp that is worth it, you better make a copy, right? But if it's not, maybe you can just get away without it and just use the original. And also, some things have sentimental value, right? I have stuff that, not very much, but like some childhood things that I collected, like concert tickets and stuff like that. That, yeah, I would never use the originals in an artwork. Well, I can't say never, but it would have to be the right situation that it's like I need to use the original. Most often, I think it'd be a copy, but most of the time, because I'm using stuff that is found rather than saved and cherished, I'm fine with cutting things up. And I do kind of think that, in some ways anyway, that as a collage artist, one of the highest compliments I can pay a piece of collage material is to use it for a collage. It's like, you know what? You're so good, I'm going to use you. But yeah, some stuff is definitely worth making copies of, so you can use it repeatedly, right? If it's a good thing, something that, and especially if it's hard to come by, or really, hard to come by, or really beautiful, why not make copies? And then it frees you up creatively. And you don't freeze up thinking, oh, I don't want to glue this down. This is too important. Is this worthy of this thing? You have copies. It's just like, I got 10 more of these and I still have the original, so I can just do whatever I want. This particular, I got these photos on Unsplash, which is a photo sharing site. And this particular image has a lot of like 1 or 2 color sort of engraving kind of feeling stamps rather than full color stamps. certainly we have lots of full color stamps nowadays. That is for those of us who still mail something upon occasion. But definitely in the heyday of stamps, full color printing was expensive. So these two colors with like black and blue, or black and red, or it's often black and one other color, or sometimes it's even just one color. This Argentinian stamp here is looks like one color, just a sort of sepia color. And oftentimes what they would do is choose like a color, but a dark color, so that it can hold the dark values of an image. This one's a good example. This Argentinian one it looks like it's a really dark brown. So when they use it full strength behind the word Argentina, it's almost like black, but when it's lightened in the image, it has a nice warm color to it. I should mention I'm expecting a parcel today. So it's just possible, who knows when they'll deliver it. Probably be tomorrow given the rain. But it is possible that I'll have to dash away for a moment because I'm the only one upstairs. But cross that bridge when we get there. But just so you guys know, 3-cent stamp. Religious freedom in America. Wow. That's just a loaded statement nowadays, isn't it? All right. These stamps are a bit smaller scale, but my collage is not going to be reliant on scale accuracy. So having the range between bigger ones and smaller ones will be fine, I think. So that's okay. So I'm getting caught up now again, guys. So Nellie says she collects hats, loads of them. What a great thing to collect, because you can collect them and you can stock your collection with all kinds of different ones, and you can wear them, right? I mean, that's the ultimate thing, is you can display them and enjoy them, but you can also wear them. I know that there are some people out there who have a substantial shoe collection for that reason. So and yeah, anything you can wear is awesome for that. Philippa says she collects stamps. She used to have a very large collection of antique dolls too. Wow. I have some bottle caps, matchbook covers. I used to collect Coke bottles and ads. Oh yeah, vintage Coke ads are awesome, right? And yeah, bottle caps. I hear you. Were the dolls of a particular kind, Philippa, or just? I mean, obviously they're antique, but was there a niche? Was it a particular kind? I know some people get very vertical and granular about what they do and don't collect. So, and Gunta, hearing my comment about not cutting out the little notches from the perforations, she says you need scissors with fancy edges. We have some of those somewhere. I don't even know whether they'd be the right scale, but they'd at least approximate it. But the thing is, I'm not sure where they are. We definitely have pinking shears, but they'd be too big scale. And I think we do have a few of the. We don't have the set of like 30 different pairs of scissors, but we do have one or two of those, I think. Just don't know where they are right now. And Nellie says, cutting miniature cuts. Yes. And Jane says she's using all originals. Wow, way to go. Just no time like the present. Just going for the gusto. I love it. Gunta says, pre-COVID, I started collecting things I found while walking my dog. I plan to do it for 1 year and make a structure called Walking the Dog. I have everything from baby soothers to a wrench. It's so true. Like once you start looking down as you're walking along, you will find the most amazing things on the ground. Um, Sometimes um, they're just like some piece of metal that like a can or a bottle cap that has just been so flattened, but they're amazingly beautiful. And so like it's trash, but it's also like a treasure. You'll find coins, you'll find the occasional bill, you'll find just the most interesting things, little parts that fall off of people's whatever. So yeah, that's a great idea. And just linking it by all things you found while walking the dog. That's awesome. Um, Gunta also says that at an international music school, participants brought stamps from their country as gifts. What a great idea. That's perfect. It's easy. It doesn't use up much of your luggage. People are interested, and it's a great way to share a little bit of your culture with them and vice versa. So I love that idea. Val says she collects Christmas ornaments from the places we travel to. That's a perfect and then your tree is bedecked with memories, right? So yeah, that's awesome. That's such a great idea. Nellie says the only problem is storage. Ain't it the truth? Flat things are good, but yes, storage is always going to be the challenge. Nellie says she's hoping to start a museum with them. Maybe an exhibit at the textile museum. That would be awesome. That would be so great. Yeah, they would love to, especially if your hats are made of all these interesting materials, which no doubt they are, right? That's awesome. Ricky says, Cal, do you ever use a glue other than the Yoo-hoo stick? Maybe golden gel matte as an adhesive? I definitely have made collages using medium. And it just depends on the nature. I do a lot of stuff that doesn't really require too strong a hold. Like the stuff you see me doing mostly here is lightweight paper, and that's fine. I do the occasional collage using I use gloss medium, and I depends on the thickness of the materials that I'm working with. If you're working with something heavy duty like heavy paper or thin cardboard or thick cardboard, you might want to use gel because it's less runny. But I find for paper, for most paper, up into maybe once you're getting to sort of thick watercolor paper, it's probably better to move over to gel. But for papers thinner than that, the liquid medium, as they just call it, polymer medium, is fine. I use the gloss because it dries absolutely clear. And oftentimes when I do that kind of collage, I have a little container of it and a brush, and I just brush down on the surface before I put it down, and then I use the brush to sort of smooth it down. And so as I'm working with different pieces of paper, oftentimes you'll get more layers of the medium in some places, right? Like where you have running off the sides of things. So if you do that with matte medium, you have to be aware of the fact that it will both dull the colors down, especially in layers. And if that's sort of desired, like an encaustic kind of effect where the colors aren't as strong and you're sort of peering through the matte medium a little bit, then that's fine. But normally what I do is I do all of my building of the collage using gloss, which will dry clear and the colors are rich. And then at the end, I decide, okay, is it like too shiny right now? So I'll put if so, I will mix a top coat that has the right amount of shine. So maybe a little bit of matte medium in some gloss medium, just to have a not super glossy top coat. So just something to be aware of, that fact that especially in layers, matte medium will dull colors down, and it will also reduce the detail. It's kind of like seeing through a fog. I won't be able to lay my hands on it, but Kim's taught some medium courses using medium. And what she did to show people is she painted a stripe of color, like here's acrylic blue, and then here is 1 coat of medium, here's 2 coats of medium, 3 coats of medium, 4 coats of medium, and you can compare it to the purer blue where there's no medium over top. And you should see after like 2 or 3 layers, it starts to get really, really dull and lighter and significantly less blue and more and foggier too. So yeah. Ricky says, last year Gerda gifted me with some artist supplies, and in the box was lots of golden gel medium. I'm just learning I can use it as an adhesive. Absolutely, yeah. Because paint needs to stick, or it doesn't. Paint really isn't paint if it won't stay where you put it, right? And so medium is just taking the pigment out. It's all the adhering part. So yeah, it's really well made for adhering, and it is designed to be an artist material, right? So it's not like using a glue stick from the stationery store, which may or may not be useful, right? And do you have to dilute it? You can dilute it, and that's an option. So you don't want to dilute it too much, but a little bit of water, I think up to like 20 or 30% water is fine. But more than that, then you start losing its adhering qualities. Gunta says soft gel medium under and over the pieces works really well. Right. Yeah, because the soft gel, it doesn't drip around, right? But it's still very soft, so it'll move around easily with your brush. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Gunta says she uses the soft gloss, no bumps or bubbles. Yeah, it'll often depend on the material and how brushed down you get it, right? Because if it's a thin paper, you have to watch it. And Kim suggested, and I think it's a good idea, when you're working with thin papers, to brush the medium down first and then lay the piece into the medium and then brush it down, rather than try and brush it on the thin paper and then it's curling and crinkling before you've even got it stuck where you want it. Elaine says she also found that matte gel medium will get cloudy when you're working with layers. Exactly. Continuously over brushing gets very cloudy. I've ruined works this way. Yeah. And Gunta says, I missed the intro. Why are your hands red? Maybe I don't. I think it may just be the color balance on my camera because they're not particularly red. They definitely look redder on screen. And it also may depend on your device. Like I'm looking at my hands on my monitor and they look redder, but not massively red. And my actual hands look fine. So, but if your device is also skewing red, then you're getting a double whammy. So, but they're fine, Gunta. Don't worry. Thank you. Get back to cutting some stamps out, and then I'll cut a few other things, and then I think I'll make some souvlaki or some kebabs, some collection kebabs. Just because that's a silly idea that came to my mind. I'm sure I have enough stamps now, eh? Probably move on to something else. All right, I can always come back for more if I need them. The playing cards are, I think, too big for my souvlaki, so I'll go get some bottle caps. Speaking of Coke paraphernalia, I'm going with getting a Coke bottle caps to start off with. iconic and ubiquitous. But there's some great ones in here like this. There's one here that has like a really interesting graphic fountain. The problem with this photograph, I didn't notice it as much when I grabbed it, is that the exposure is not that great. So some are overexposed and some are underexposed. Oh well. That will just add a little bit of something to it, I guess. Wow. I think I need a lesson in remedial cutting. That was an awful, awful cut. Hard to know where the edges are because they're in shadow. So I'm just, and I am same as the stamps. I'm not cutting around every last little, every last little crimp in the bottle caps. So what summer plans do you guys have? Are you doing something fun, I hope? I'm going to be teaching, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be teaching 3 days in person at Nielsen Park Creative Center, Collage New Directions. And then I'm doing different, but of course with the same title, and it'll have overlap. At Halliburton, Collage New Directions for 5 full days, which is I'm really looking forward to. And I'm also teaching Landscapes Reimagined and Altered, which is something I've taught for a few years there now. And I've kind of figured out a course that I think really works well for getting artists to try new stuff. I'm always blown away by what people come up with by the time we're getting towards the end of the week. Sometimes they're great right out of the gate. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that will take me to sort of mid-July, and then I'll have a little bit of time off, which will give me time to do to get caught up with some things that I really need to get caught up with, like taxes, yikes, and then also some of my own work. I'm really anxious to get back to doing some of the collages that I was doing for the artist project. Since before the artist project, I really haven't made very many of my own works. Been teaching and worrying about other professional things. So yeah, that'll be good. And I will definitely be helping Kim a lot because she always has a very ambitious plan for her exhibitions. And so I will probably help her make some of the 3-dimensional stuff. I'll obviously help her decide, be more of a sounding board for her when she has lots of different ideas and sort of figuring out what she's pretty good with the vision, so she'll ask me about things, but she sort of knows it when she hears it or when she comes up with it. It's usually just the like, okay, but how do we execute this idea, or this is a trick, this is a great idea, but we don't know how to execute it. So we figured that out together. And something else I will probably make her is a scale model of the gallery. Not like fancy, but so that it's the right size, so that she can look down over the whole gallery and see, okay, in this space, if I put, and we scale miniatures of like, okay, well, if she's hanging banners or these pieces of artwork are going to be on the walls, she can put them on the walls and look at it from a holistic point of view. I know that really helps her sort of figure out quite the big picture. So for every exhibition she's done over the last few years, I've made her a scale model. And so, but there will probably be lots of other things that I'll help her with too, like I don't know whether the gallery does the invitations. They might well do, or whether we'll design them, but there will be didactic panels that will need designing. I think she designed them last time. I can't remember. But, you know, whatever she needs, I will work on that. She helped me a lot with the artist project this year, which was really great. She did the book for me. She looked after a few other. She helped me a lot with getting the scans looking as good as possible for those large prints. So it's going to be an exciting, probably a little bit apprehensive summer, but it'll all come good. So Gerda says she recently read of an artist who puts down 3 layers of medium on canvas, then scatters collage pieces from on high and glues them down. Next, adds some acrylic paint. Right, as sort of building a ground. That's an interesting idea, isn't it? I've always found, which is kind of funny, that if I want something to look like it happened by chance, I have to design it carefully. But that's just because I'm a control freak. But wow, yeah, you have to sort of have faith in the universe that it'll fall in the right place. But also if it's only the first stage and then there's going to be a bunch of painting that happens after that, then it's just like, well, let's see how things fall, and we'll go with that. That's kind of fun. I'd be curious to know how big a part those scattered pieces of collage play. Like, do they in that artist's work, whether they are whether there's, and I mean, of course you could, like, that one's in an interesting place, I'm going to leave that, or that one's in the wrong place, I'm going to paint right over it so you don't even see it. But it also might be just a way to get some texture laid down without being fussy about it, right? If it's just going to be the sort of topography of the piece that you then paint over. This is not all shots, not all free photographs are good, but this is definitely a good one. It's nice and crisp and well lit. It's a thing you can't always, if it's going to be free, really, you take your chances whether it's good or not, just because you didn't have to pay for it. So sometimes people who do the really good work, not surprisingly, would like to get paid for it, so they save that for their paid work. But some kind souls are willing to share their work online for free for other people to remix, and I'm very grateful to them for it. I'm cutting out several coins, so what I'm, of course, I'll miss one of them, but what I'm trying to do is cut all the I sort of find I can reasonably cut about without spinning the paper, I can reasonably cut about a quarter of the way around. So now I'm doing like all this this quarter, and then I'll turn the paper 90 degrees and do the next quarter, and then I'll turn it and do the last quarter. But yeah, there's going to be one or two in here that I forget that I forget to do. And some of them I'm cutting off the side of the coin, and some of them I'm leaving it in. Not by design, just by accident. It's that walking and chewing gum thing. So is anyone else going to take courses at Halliburton? And if so, what are you taking? Gunta, are you taking, well, her card detailing may be done, but if not, are you taking something this year, Gunta? Is anyone else taking anything at Halliburton? I often, with my courses, sometimes they don't get, I get several people, like enough to run, but not a ton of people. But this year, both of my courses have quite a few people in them, which is great. They're going to be busy, which is, it's great when you get a good number of people, because it actually amplifies the energy of the creativity going on. I find, people get to see more different responses, and it makes it the energy is higher. That said, I've definitely had some classes with not very many people in them that have been really great. So but then it really depends on the people in it, and artists are generally great. I think you guys can agree. The more I often sort of wonder what the perfect size class is, and I don't think there's any one number, but I generally find that sort of 8 to 12 is a good number, enough to have some variety, but not so much that like I never get to have good conversations with people because I'm running around with everyone too much. And also for the students, right? If you only have 2 or 3 other people, you can get along really well, but you only see 2 or 3 other responses to the same project. Whereas if you see, 8 or 9 or 10 other responses, you get a good cross section of what, like, oh, I never would have thought of that. That's a great idea, and vice versa, right? They see your responses. So the best the best teachers are the other students, right? So that's who you learn the most from, I think. All right. This coin is still to go. I think that was all the full coins. I have some with bites out of them, but that's actually kind of fun too, isn't it? The thing with some of the coins cut out and some of them remaining. That might find its way into another collage. So, Gerda says, what I saw online, I think this is referring to the artist who scatters the pieces of collage material. The collage pieces and paint sometimes mix of the collage pieces and paint. Sometimes the paint on top of the collage, other times the collage stood alone. Right. Yeah, fair enough. And that's the nice thing about working between them fluidly like that. It took me a long time to sort of come to understand that I didn't need to worry as much about where and how I put anything down. Of course you do to some extent, but sometimes with me it would be debilitating. So I'd be like unable to commit, and it's like, you know what? It's paper. If I glue this down in the wrong place, I can always glue something else over top of it. I can always change my mind. And the same, not always, like watercolor is trickier, but definitely with acrylic paints, a lot of that same thing goes. You know what? If it doesn't work, you can paint over parts of it. in whole or in part. And that's just so liberating. And it means actually, I think you make fewer mistakes. And not that making mistakes is a problem, because a mistake is a discovery in disguise, right? So, but you're just braver, right? And you don't worry about it as much, and therefore you get better results, which is it's a win all around, really. But when we're young or when we're starting out, we're so concerned about doing it wrong, right? We're so worried that we'll do it wrong, or that it won't work out. And it's like, you know what? That's fine. That's called learning. That's how you learn. And it is hard on the ego sometimes, but that's beneficial too, for to do something that's hard on the ego, because it sort of helps you detach a little bit from that ego. All right. On to my next quarter of these coins. I got some gold coins, and now these are silver colored anyway. I'm not sure how gold the other coins are either, whether they're actual gold or just gold colored, but the color is really all that matters to me for collage, right? So I didn't cut this one at all. What's up with that, Cal? So does anyone have any shows coming up that you're going to have paintings, collage, any kind of work in, or shows that you're like solo shows, juried shows, stuff you're working towards? Gunta, I hope you're going to put that dog walk piece into something, if you're still with us. I mean, I know it's not, I don't think it's made yet, right? But it definitely has a narrative to it. So, and work coming out of COVID is of particular interest, I think, nowadays, because we all had to process that pandemic in different ways. So, so I think that is a natural, and people would be interested to see that. All right. I'll check on the chat in just a minute, see what you guys are talking about. Just gotta get these coins cut first. So bear with me. As I mentioned, I'm going to have to answer the door. Back in a second. Hey there. How are you doing today? I'm not interested, okay? Have a good day. Pardon me? No. Guess not. I guess that was not the package I was expecting. That was someone who can't read absolutely no solicitors or peddlers on our door. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, and since I'm interrupted anyway, I'll see what you guys are up saying here. Get my beak out of the way there. So as far as Francoise says, I was part of the Bayview art tour this weekend. Awesome. Well done, Francoise. We did not have many visitors as many visitors as usual, but I did sell a painting and a collage. Congratulations. That is so great. Well done, Francoise. Especially given that there weren't many people, that your work must have still stood out, and I'm so glad. It's such a great feeling when you sell a piece, isn't it? So validating. Ricky says she just had a photo in the summer juried show at Abington Art Center. The theme was ethnicity and identity. It had all kinds of things: sculpture, drawing, painting, etching, etc. It went well. That sounds like a great show too. Wow. Well done, you. Val says she has a piece in the Aurora Cultural Center show, Letters to the Earth. That's a perfect for you, isn't it, Val? Yeah. It's a plastic collage of birds, and it's a very good show, worth going to Aurora for. Awesome. Yeah, that sounds like a great, really timely, obviously. I mean, it's been timely for a long time, but show, and that sounds like a really great piece too, Val. Well done. Jane says she's anxious to see how you're going to blend all your collections, Cal. That was an issue for me. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be an issue for me too. I think the on skewers, I don't even know where, my who knows how a brain works, right? I just thought all these little chunks, they should be have some unifying factor, and it'll be a skewer. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to have like 3 or 4 different skewers of different mixes of stuff. But who knows? Who knows? Why did I not cut that coin? That's funny. I thought I was cutting all the whole coins, but I missed this one. So Jane, how are you rationalizing your? I know you said you're having trouble. But have you come up with any themes to sort of tie the disparate things together? That's a place where some sort of formal structure can be beneficial, rather than a more unstructured composition. I find. So if you have lots of disparate things, imposing some sort of structure, I think, can be beneficial. So, and that's not to say that that is the only option, but that's what my rational designer mind. That's where it goes first. Let's put it that way. It may not be the best path always, but that's sort of where I'll start usually. This one is definitely out of focus. Off on the side of the image. All right. Well, that's probably plenty, isn't it, guys? Oh, but I haven't put any patches in. Oh, All right. Maybe what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start without the patches and see how we go. check up on your chat in just a minute. Sorry, I realized I did that thing of going quiet again, just because working on coming up with my skewer here. I probably should have cut the straight part freehand as well, seeing as I'm cutting the circle part freehand, so that they felt similarly imperfect. Well, we'll see how bad it is and adjust if necessary. Kind of thing that if the first one doesn't work out, you can always do another one. Having learned some lessons on the first one. No eraser apparently, so I won't worry about erasing that little pencil line. You can barely see it anyway. Or I could just flip the skewer over and not have and work with the backside. That makes lots of sense. Okay. It's like making skewers for the barbecue. Good to have a nice mix, so, and of sizes and colors and so on. I think these bottle caps are too small, they'll get lost. But not if I put them on the top. It's like a little cherry tomato. All right, that's kind of fun actually. So, all right, maybe get my mix right here. Let's see. Ooh, that's a huge one. All right, too big maybe for this skewer. You don't want them cooking that unevenly. One of these dark coins, that's kind of fun after the light stamp. So that I think is the next step, and maybe it could have a little bit of a peek of this thing showing in front of it. I guess then I run the risk of having little red things in front of bigger black or white things 2 in a row, but we'll see. Probably it'll be okay. Unlike a nice metal skewer, this paper skewer is has to be treated with more delicacy than your average skewer. So, all right, what looks like it'd be good next? I think I'm gonna run out of red things if I keep going red. So let's pick something blue. Yeah, blue's good now. Next anyway. And should it be that way, right side up, or I think vertically? And just so I don't always have a small thing after in between the big things, I'll go straight to another big thing in this case. Can always sort of space them a little bit, fine tune the spacing a little later. And one of these star ones would be good, wouldn't it? And so that'll be sort of yellowy, so maybe a silver coin after that, and then maybe we can go into like a red, a gold coin. And put this one a little off center. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm making skewers for the barbecue, I often miss the center, and then I end up with lopsided things. In this case, I think it will look better. And then we'll go to a few different sort of light gold and darker gold. A darker gold one here. How much darker? Let's go with that one. I don't want another red thing right away. Maybe gold on gold, but I just did it for some reason. Oh, get the balance right. Or at least interestingly. Right, straight for the gold coin, I think. And then we'll figure the rest out after that. This is a pretty big one, but I think I'm going to go for it anyway. I'll tuck more of it underneath the previous one. And then pacing-wise, should go to something small again, I think, in front of one of these pale silver ones, or pale gold ones, sorry. What color is that, Cal? It's actually good to show just a little snippet of the skewer every once in a while that they're stuck onto. I just noticed it by accident over here, and then I thought, yeah, that's good to have a little echo of it just so that you see that it's, I don't know, it helps explain what you're looking at, I think, which is a good thing. Okay, so we have some blues, some reds, some golds, maybe something. Multicolored. This one's very big. I thought the other ones were big. That will use a lot more of the real estate. Maybe these two. Maybe got those darker coins. This one's really black. So maybe sort of not fully dark. Oh, that's good. Sort of a goldy, orangey bottle cap that isn't one of the star ones. And it's maybe, okay. What's he on about? Little monosyllabic grunts as Cal figures out what the order, he thinks the order should be. Like he has any clue anyway. All right. All right. I think my skewer and also like my loading skewers with barbecue, I do try to put too many things on and then the end ones inevitably fall off. So I'm going to try to stop before that happens. Let's see how we go here. Yeah, that looks like about the right number. Oh, it's so classic. It's very classic me. I'm running out of time. And I've got a good idea, or at least a half-decent idea, that's going to be partially done by the end of the session. So what this is going to go in front of, I'm not sure. I can imagine, for instance, like I'll have to cut a few more things just to have more variety. Like I obviously still have plenty of the coins, but I need a little more variety in stamps, and maybe the next skewer would have some of the patches. But I can imagine like doing an arrangement of like, I don't know, 3 skewers where each one's on a different background, like a rectangular background. So you've got a skewer here that's on, in fact, I should change the colors of the skewers. That would be kind of fun. Or maybe it's not necessary. I don't know. I chose white because it sort of feels closest to steel without being super literal. Like I guess gray would be even closer to steel, but with the glint of it, I thought white would be a good choice. But you know, sort of, okay, that's one, and then maybe on a white background or a color background, the next skewer, maybe it could face the other way, and then another one. So you have this like, and this is this thing I was talking about with Jane, is like, these are disparate materials in many respects, and they're sort of jumbly on the skewer, but the skewer organizes them like a clothesline does. And then the sort of geometric structure of bands would also provide structure. So it's that play of one against the other, the organization versus the sort of looser. So I think what I'll do is just cut another skewer and maybe cut a few more of these guys, and hopefully just get one more skewer threaded before before we have to break. And I just, for the circle at the end, I just used the I just grabbed my glue stick because I didn't have anything better at hand, and it's more or less the right size. I'm sort of envisioning those skewers that you can hang on a rack. They have a circular hook. And also that's what you can use to twist them, right? And just flip them on the grill. You guys know. I'll check in on the comments in just a minute. Oh, this one I got off center a bit. I'm going to have to move my circle a little bit, I think. Well, and because I don't have an eraser, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to say these skewers have a bit of handmadeness to them, which most of the skewers we would buy, most of the things we would buy don't. They're all made to the same spec, but if it, once I've got it cut out, it looks too homely, I'll just do another one because it's not that big a deal to cut it out. Perhaps I should cut my 2 parallel lines first, and then and then position the circle that I'm trying to line it up with after that. Learn from my experience, perhaps. It is a little off center, but I think I'm going to roll with it. Just going to roll with it. Okay, I'm going to thread this skewer the opposite direction. But I do want a few more bottle caps and maybe some patches for this one. So I'll cut a few more bottle caps. This is interesting. Whoever collected these bottle caps, I recognize some of them, but some I really have no clue. A really nice sort of fountainy pattern on this one, and it's in a few different colors, so it's must be different flavors by the same company. Oh, and I said I'd look at the comments, didn't I? All right, let's do that. All right, so Elaine says she has a solo collage / decollage show in Bancroft. Elaine, congratulations. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm catching up, so you probably posted that a few minutes ago, but that's so great. When are the dates? Because Bancroft is, I might be able to hit that if it's going to be on during the summer. I might be able to hit it on the way to or from Halliburton. Probably from Halliburton, but that'd be great. And Nellie says, and me, so about like how to figure out how to bring together disparate stuff, probably, yeah. And Jane says, oh yes, had to. I even found a background paper that I thought would work with collections prompt. You'll see when they post it. It's a bit weird. Okay, cool. I'll look forward to it. Val says, Elaine, how long is your show on for? I have wanted to see your work in person for a while. Yeah, and ditto. So Philippa says, clever idea, Cal. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fun and clever, as Francois says. That's good. I'm glad you like it. It is kind of silly, but I like silly. Francois says, thanks for the jam. I have to leave. Have a great summer. If you're still with us, Francois, thank you very much. Have a great summer yourself. and we'll see you in the fall. Elaine says, "Hey Valerie, my show is up in Bancroft for the month of June. I have another small show coming in Port Perry in October." Wow, you're a busy girl, Elaine. Well done. That's awesome. And Val says, "I'll definitely get to one or the other of your shows, Elaine. That's great." Annie says, "Happy summer to me and Kim." Thank you, Annie. You too. See you again soon. Hopefully, Cal, you'll have a course, maybe contemporary animals. Thank you for creating this community. Happy summer to all. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, that would be fun to do. I think I had a collage animals course, and it didn't it didn't draw very many people, but I also put it up late, to be honest. So it may find its way back. So because animals are great, so diverse and interesting, and whether you're treating them realistically or fantastically, they are a great place to. So I think yeah, I'll come back to that one and give you a little more lead time. After the artist project, I hurriedly put up some courses that I didn't give you guys enough time to they were too late. So yeah, just need more, just have to be more on top of things to give you time to look at them before they're actually starting. So let's see what else. Pink, that's unusual. Oh, it's cut off a little bit. So this one's interesting with the sort of twist, and then oh, it's like a stylized crown. That's what that is. That's fun. Bottle caps are such an interesting design problem because, of course, they're pretty small, right? So if you put a whole bunch of stuff on it, it's unlikely to get read or recognized. So it's a case of keeping them simpler. So sometimes it's a star, sometimes it's a simple image, or just a word or two. If it's a lot of words, then it probably is less effective. Yeah. I'm sure we're going over time a little bit. Yes, we are. So I will. I was hoping I might be able to get another skewer threaded, but I think this barbecue is going to take a little longer to cook. It's going to have to be a little raw for the time being. But I'm gathering ingredients. So, all right. So I'm just going to switch the camera to sign off. So we'll be back out of the black in a minute. There we go. All right. So guys, thank you very much. So again, that skewer was as far as I got. There it is again. And we'll see. I thought I had the other end, but obviously not. It's becoming a three-dimensional collage. I thought I just flashed it quickly, but it didn't work out. So there we go. And I'm going to need to adjust it a little bit because it's slipped. But yeah, silly and fun, right? So I look forward to seeing what you guys post in the Virtual Collage Jam group on Facebook. If you haven't posted there before, you have to ask for permission to join, and then I will let you in and you can post away, and you can see what your fellow collage jammers have posted. You can find me at my Facebook handle is Kal Honey Art, 3 words, Kal space honey, HONEY, space art, ART. And if you look under groups and look for Virtual Collage Jam Group, or you can just search the group directly, it's called Virtual Collage Jam Group. Just search that in Facebook and you will find it. It has a black and yellow visual, so that's the one you're looking for, of some collage elements and tools. And so, yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys post, and have a really great summer. And I look forward to joining up again in the fall with more ideas, some word prompts, some visual prompts. Maybe we'll connect to some other groups internationally, like we have done with Paris Collage Collective and Edinburgh Collage Collective. I'll look for some other opportunities. That'll be fun. And meanwhile, keep collaging, and I'll just check what you guys are saying here. Annie, you're thinking painting contemporary animals. Awesome. Yes, got you. And Judy, hey Judy, I didn't see you earlier. Judy, welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome. Have a wonderful summer yourself. Ricky says, thank you. Enjoy the summer break. Good Lord willing, and the forest don't burn. Yeah, exactly. I'll see everyone next year. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, let's hope for lots of rain and an end to massive fires. Jane says, thanks, Cal. It's been another fantastic season. Oh, great. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Have a great summer. I will. You too, Jane. And thanks. Oh, I lost my. Have a great summer. Hope to see you at some point. Yes, for sure. We will. Our collagers' paths will cross. Elaine says, thank you to me and Kim for bringing us all together. You're very welcome, Elaine. Thank you for joining us, for answering questions, giving us direction, sharing thinking as I work, being positive, encouraging. These are the things I try. And yeah, and I know that you also teach, Elaine, so I would love to sit in on one of your classes at some point too. So yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you teach online at all? I know you don't have time to answer, but I will look on your website and find out. Kathleen says, thank you. Yes. Oh, I'm glad, Kathleen. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Jane says it looks good. And Val says, thank you. Hopefully I'll see you in Halliburton. Awesome. That'd be great, Val. I'd love to see you there. So have a great summer, guys. Keep collaging, and we'll catch you in the fall. Okay. Take care. Bye.